So, the topic is hospital waste management. Hospital waste management. Hospital waste management. So, tell me, what is biomedical waste? BMW. What is biomedical waste? Biomedical waste are those wastes which are generated during the. I'll explain the definition. First, let me write. Those wastes generated during. Biomedical wastes are those wastes which are generated during diagnosis, treatment, immunization of whom? Of humans or animals, and in research, production, testing of what? Biologicals. Means biological product. So, this is the definition of hospital waste management. Yeah, this is the definition of BMW, biomedical waste. So, what are biomedical waste? Biomedical waste are those wastes which are generated during the diagnosis, treatment, and immunization of whom? The diagnosis, treatment, immunization of humans or animals, and in the process of research, production, and testing of what? Of biological products. So, biomedical waste are waste generated during the diagnosis, treatment, immunization of humans or animals, and research, production, and testing of biological products. Next, what are the sources of biomedical waste? From where all biomedical waste will be generated? It can be generated in the hospitals, nursing homes, clinics, dispensaries, PHCs, blood banks, animal houses, slaughterhouses, vaccination centers, and production units. Okay, so sources will be private hospitals, nursing homes, clinics, dispensaries, research centers, blood banks, etc. Next, I'll give a basic idea about the different levels of biological waste production. Means, in government hospital, how much waste is produced. In private hospital, how much waste is produced, and in nursing home, how much waste is produced. This is given in part. Half to 4 kg per bed waste is produced in the government hospital. In private hospital, it is lesser. Half to 2 kg per bed is produced in private, whereas in nursing homes it is half to 1 kg per bed. This is the amount of waste generated in nursing homes. Next are the health hazards of biological waste. What are the health hazards? The different health hazards of biomedical waste are: number one, they can be the biomedical waste can be infectious. It can spread infection. It can be sharps, so it can cause cuts and injuries to the person who are exposed. It can be chemicals, which can cause chemical injury to the patient. It can chemical or pharmaceutical wastes. It can be genotoxic waste, means the substance itself can be toxic. It can be radioactive, or it can be public sense. It can cause anatomic waste, which can cause visual pollution means it can cause public sensitivity if they are exposed to the public. They will have one visual impact. So, what are the different health hazards? Infection, sharps, chemicals and pharmaceuticals, toxic products, radioactive products, and anatomical waste. Next, what are the different methods of disposal of waste? So, methods of disposal of waste. Number one method is incineration. Incineration. What are the different methods of disposal of waste? Number one is incineration. Incineration is first of all the method of choice. If you are given an option which is the best one, which you want to do, best one will be, your favorite one will be incineration. What you are supposed to do here? What is happening? It is high temperature dry oxidation, basically burning. It is high temperature dry oxidation. What are the advantages? Is that no pre-treatment is required. You just need to go and burn it. No pre-treatment is required. Okay, and there is significant reduction in the waste volume. Initially, suppose this much waste is there. After burning, the ash is this much. So the volume is much more reduced. So decrease in waste volume. The volume of the waste produced is lesser. Next, another advantage, but another disadvantage is that it cannot be recycled, reused. It cannot be recycled or reused. So no recycle. It cannot be recycled. Once it is incinerated, once it is burned, once it becomes an ash, it cannot be reused again. Next is what are the characteristics of a substance which can be incinerated. Number one, it has to have a low heating volume. It has to have a low heating volume which is greater than 2000 kilocalorie per kg. Next, it has to have combustible matter content 60%. It should have combustible matter 60%. Next, it should have non-combustible matter should be less than 5%. Next, it should have moisture below 30%. So characteristics: it should have low heating volume, which is less than 2000. It should be greater than 2000 kilocalorie per kg. It should be combustible. Greater than 60% of the substance should be combustible, and it should have the non-combustible matter should be reduced to less than 5%, and moisture should not be more than 30%. It should be less than 30% moisture content in the substance. So, what are the substances which cannot be incinerated? What are the substances which cannot be incinerated? The number one answer is gas cylinder. Gas cylinders cannot be incinerated. Radiographic wastes. Radiographic waste cannot be incinerated. Heavy metals cannot be incinerated. Broken thermometers, cadmium, mercury, batteries cannot be incinerated. Okay, next, what are the types of incinerators? What are the different types of incinerators? Types can be double chamber incinerator, it can be single chamber incinerator, or it can be rotatory kiln. So these are the different types of incinerators. Next is chemical disinfection. Now, when will you do chemical disinfection? So, chemical disinfection. The question that arises is, when will you do chemical disinfection? You will do chemical disinfection of liquid wastes. Liquid wastes such as blood, urine. These will be done chemical disinfection. Next is wet thermal treatment. Means it will be combustion was dry thermal treatment. Na? This is I am talking of wet thermal treatment. When can you do wet thermal treatment? You can do wet thermal treatment of anatomical wastes. For anatomical wastes, you can do wet thermal treatment. Then there is something called screw feed technology. Q-feed technology. What is happening here? Basically, a rotatory kiln will be there, and waste will be shredded by the rotating auger. Means something like this will be there, which will keep on rotating. And suppose this is the entire container, and then something is rotating inside, and then when you throw your waste here, as this rotatory kiln has got paddles like this, as it is rotating, it is smashing these waste products, and they are reduced by volume to 80%. So it is to be done. Q-feed technology is mainly for infectious material, and for sharps. Q-feed technology is for infectious material and for sharps. Next is microwave technology. Microwave irradiation is done at, we have to know the frequency. So microwave technology. So by microwaves at the frequency of 2450 megahertz, and at this one wavelength of 12.24 nanometer, the microwaves can be used to kill the can be used for killing the pathogenic organisms in the waste. Next, land disposal is not a good way. Basically, if municipality or the medical authority genuinely lacks means to treat the waste before disposal, they can use landfills. Here, it can be of two types: open dumps or sanitary landfills. So basically, you just there will be a dump yard like this. You go and fill the waste here. But this is not preferred method. Next, there is something called inertization. 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 What is happening here? You are taking a container and you are mixing cement with other toxic substances. You are giving cement and then are using toxic substances, and then a mass is produced. Okay, this mass is produced. This mass you convert into small pellets. So the size of volume of the waste is reduced to a great extent, and they are stored in various storage sites or in landfills or wherever they can be stored. Means main thing is cement is mixed with the toxic substances to make them less toxic. So that this is inertization. Next are the two schedules of waste management. These are the main things. Basically, Government of India has given two schedules, Schedule 1 and Schedule 2, which according to which biomedical wastes have to be treated. Now, basically, the biomedical waste management rule was passed in 1998, and it was prescribed by the Ministry of Environment and Forests, and it came to force on 28th July 1998. Okay, this rule basically applies to those who generate, collect, receive, store, dispose, treat, or handle biomedical waste of any matter. Basically, it says that in 28 July 1998, one rule was passed, which is called biomedical waste rule. Okay, and this rule was concerned with any and everybody who were concerned with generation, collection, receiving, storage, disposal, treating, and handling of biomedical waste. So that is the biomedical waste rule of 1998. Next, it has given two schedules, Schedule 1, Schedule 2, according to which in Schedule 1, we will basically categorize the different types of waste into 10 categories, category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in Schedule 2, we will say what type of bag we will keep that waste in, and we will say how will we dispose it. So 1, 2, category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are the different categories of waste, and category 1 is anatomical. Anatomical waste. Whose anatomy? Human. What is category 2? Animal waste. Category 3, even smaller animals, means microbiological waste. Category 4 is what? Sharps. Category 5 is what? Discarded medicines and cytotoxic drugs. Category 6, solid wastes, means solid waste contaminated with blood. Solid wastes plus blood, like cotton, then sheets, OT sheets, these things are solid waste contaminated with blood. Category 7, waste generated from disposable items like tubings, catheters, etc. These are solid waste without blood. Example, catheter. Okay. Category 8 is liquid waste. Category 9, incineration ash. Ash from the incineration of any biological waste. After incineration, you'll get some amount of ash. So that falls under category 9. Ash. And category 10, chemicals used in the production of biologicals. So basically, what are the different 10 categories? Category number 1. Category 1 is basically anatomical waste, which is whose anatomy? Human. Category 2 is what? Animal waste. Category 3 is what? Even smaller animals, that is microbiology. Category 4 is what? Sharps. Category 5 is discarded medicines and cytotoxic drugs. Category 6 is solid waste contaminated with blood. All sorts of linen, plasters and beddings which are contaminated with blood, cotton. Category 7 is solid waste without blood. This is minus. Category 6 is solid waste plus blood. Category 7 is solid waste minus blood. So that is catheter, okay, tubings like that, IVs, cannula like that. Category 8 is liquid waste. Category 9 is ash, and category 10 is chemicals used in production of various biological agents. Next, so this is schedule 1. Now we will read schedule 2, which says basically gives what color of plastic bag will be used and in which category. Basically, what are the steps? In first step, waste is generated. Okay. Next, what? You identify type. What type of waste it is. Next, you put it in bag. Then what? Then you treat. This is the sequence. First waste is generated, then you identify the type of the waste, then you put it in the type of bag according to the identification of the type of the waste, and then you treat the waste. So first we have generated the waste, we have identified the type of the waste according to schedule 1. Now we will have to put the bag by first identifying which. We have to put it in the bag, then we have to treat. But for putting in the bag, we have to first know which type of waste is put in which type of bag. So, yellow bag, red bag, blue bag, then there is black bag. Yellow bag is category 1, 2, 3, 6. Red bag is 3, 6, 7. Blue bag is 4, 7. Black bag is 5, 9, 10. Yellow bag 1, 2, 3, 6. Red bag 3, 6, 7. Blue bag 4 and 7. Black bag 5, 9, 10. Okay. The first is deep burial. This yellow one. Okay. Black bag is also landfill. Similar types. This deep burial is landfill. And these two are the same. Autoclaving, microwaving. Autoclave, microwave, or chemical destruction. So 1 is deep burial, 1, 2, 3, 6. 2 is red 3, 6, 7, category 3, 6, 7, autoclave, microwave, chemical disinfection. Black is 5, 7, 10, landfills. Okay, so these are the this is schedule 2. How will you treat the different types of waste? Next, 2-3 more important points. Number 1 point, category 8 and category 10, no container, no bag. Category 8 and category 10 do not require bags. Okay. Category 3, if disinfected locally, does not require bags. Category 8 is what? Liquid waste. Category 10 is what? biologicals produced, used in the chemicals used in the production of biologicals. So basically, obviously, you'll not put a liquid inside a plastic bag. No, you cannot put a liquid material inside a plastic bag. So liquid waste is what? Category 8. And chemicals, most of the chemicals used in production of biologicals are basically chemical liquids, so they cannot be put inside bags. No? So 8 and 10 will not be produced inside put inside bags. And category 3 is what? Microbiological agents. They'll also be basically, microbiological agents will also be liquid, na? So they cannot be used in the bag, kept in the bag. So they are basically disinfected locally only. Next, what is this symbol? And what is this symbol? This symbol is cytotoxic. C for C, no? Cytotoxic hazard. And this symbol stands for biohazard. Okay. And these symbols should be put in a prominent position, and they should not be washable. Means you have put a signboard in a place where this biological hazards are there, and you put such a signboard that once you have put a signboard, suppose here, and this is your where biological hazards are kept, okay, and this is suppose the gate, and you have put here cytotoxic hazard. Now next day it rains, the cytotoxic hazard goes off. What is the use? No use, no? So basically, this has to be the label should be put in prominent places, and they should not be washable. Okay. That this ends the topic of biological